Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Shelby. I have the books I read for the month of June here. I've read 7 books, it looks like. Yeah, and I have my Goodreads up for reference. So follow me on Goodreads. That's linked down below if you want to hear my reviews earlier. Or if you want to also hear about them, you can follow my Bookstagram, which I believe is linked down below as well. So I read a lot of Bridgerton books this month. So if you don't want to hear about Bridgerton, I'm sorry, you're gonna. I read a lot of them. So first book I read in June, I read June 1st and 2nd. I finished it on the 2nd. I gave this a 3-star. It is Benedict's Story. It's an offer from a gentleman. And I like and dislike this book at the same time. I gave it a 3-star. I like Benedict more than I like Anthony, so there's that. But I also feel like as the series went on, I liked it more and more. I liked their like role reversal of like what is her name? Sophie and Benedict meeting at the ball. It's a whole Cinderella story. And then them not seeing each other again for I believe 4 years. And she was a maid. She ends up being a maid. And this guy's family, and the guy was going to take advantage of her and try to rape her. And Benedict stepped in, and then he got her a job with his family. And one thing led to another and they fell in love. I really like Sophie's sister, Posey, or her stepsister Posey. I really liked Posey. I liked that the epilogue was like Posey's story. I would love a whole Posey book. I think that would be so cute. But yeah, Posey basically saves the day. And yeah, I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but I can't wait for Benedict's season, whenever that's gonna be. Because I have no clue. Because they're already switching it up and doing Colin's season before Benedict's. So we'll see. Next I have 4. It's the Divergent Collection of little short books about 4. I gave him a 4-star. I'm not going to talk too much about this because I am going to do a whole Divergent video. So I believe I'm going to film that today too. So you should see that soon, hopefully. If not, comment down below and pester me about it because yeah, you guys need to see it. Next I have Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. This book, Colin and Penn's love story, is so freaking cute. I love Penelope. That's that. I gave this a 5-star. I read this June 8th to June 9th. So I was breezing through these Bridgerton books for a while. But Penn's story, like, they're just so freaking cute. Like, she has always admired Colin, like always loved him. And then you kind of go through life, you know, she loves her sister's, not her sister, her friend's brother. So it's a trope, best friend's brother. And yeah, in the show, they have Penelope writing letters to Colin when he travels because homeboy loves traveling. He is a traveler. And yeah, I like how the book has done Lady Whistledown. I like how you find out, like, you know who it is, but Colin finds out first, whereas in the show Eloise finds out first. So I wonder how they're going to do that in the show. But I just really like them. There are some very intense sex scenes in here. I think this one is like the most spicy, I would say, out of all of them. But I just love their personalities together and like how they bicker. I don't know, I really like them. as a couple. And then next I have Mother of Death and Dawn. This is the third book in the War of Lost Hearts. I give this a 1 star. I started at June 30th, finished, not June 30th, May 30th, finished June 16th. I listened to this book. Honestly, I don't know what happened. I feel like the whole time I was listening to this book, I was just disassociating and not, it didn't grab me. So that's a bummer. But yeah, I gave it a 1 star. So there's that. I feel bad because I think that it could have been good, and maybe I'll have to go back and like read it instead of just listening to it on audiobook. But yeah, it just was not for me, which is a bummer. And then I have another, the next 3 are Bridgerton books. To Sir Philip with Love. This is Eloise's book. I gave it a 3 star. I read it June 10th through June 19th. This is where I started slowing down on the Bridgerton train. Eloise's book was so boring to me. Eloise is so spunky in the show, and she is just boring in the book. Like, there's a little bit of spunk here and there, but I'm not a fan of book Eloise, and I hate to say that. I wish I was, but I don't know. Her falling in love with her cousin's husband, like the cousin died. Eloise wrote some letters, he wrote some letters back. Her disappearing, and then going to Sir Philip, just like unannounced. Homeboy didn't know he has twins. Like, it was a lot. Her finding out how Marina died. And yeah, there were some very good bits, I will say that. But there were also some very not great bits. I don't know. I would have loved more for Eloise. Like, more of her spunk. Like, her true nature. And I felt like we weren't getting that. Next I have When He Was Wicked, which is Francesca's story. I read this June 19th through June 22nd. I gave it 4 stars. Francesca's story, I liked that hers felt so different than the other ones, because she basically, like, she gets married, and I like that we don't witness her season. Whereas, like, the other ones we kind of have witnessed. Eloise's we didn't really fully witness, but we kind of did. Kind of. I just feel like hers was so different because it didn't necessarily instantly take place in her season, her coming out season. Like, she was married is essentially like the first chapter is like she's married, and her husband dies. And then she goes a long time of mourning. I think it was 4 or 6 years. It was 4 to 6 years, I believe. It might have been different than that. But the whole time that she was married to her first husband, which his name was John, right? Yeah. Her being married to John, like, his cousin was like kind of a third wheel in their relationship. It was kind of odd for the time, I feel like, but also not. Like, he was John's best friend. His name is Michael. He was in love with Francesca before John fell in love with Francesca, and so, like, there's that tension. You can feel it a little bit. And then Michael goes away. Francesca goes in mourning. She stays in half mourning, I think, for 2 or 3 years. And then she finally decides to come out of mourning, and she wants a baby, essentially. Like, she wants to find a husband because she wants a baby. And so Michael and her fall in love, and it's all of the awkward tension of that. And I really liked this because there was some more depth. You felt like you were getting more of, like, Francesca's heart in it. And I know you get that with the other books, but this one just felt, it felt different to me. And maybe that's because I didn't enjoy Eloise's book, and so I had, like, Francesca's book needed to be enjoyable. But yeah, I really liked her book. And I really cannot wait for her season. I think her season of Bridgerton is going to be great, because there's so much that happens, and her pregnancies and everything, and yeah, I really like that one. And then Hyacinth was also a really good one. I gave this one a 4-star. It's In His Kiss. I read this June 22nd through June 27th. I said in my review that Hyacinths might be my second favorite, but I think my first favorite is probably like Colin and Penelope's, and then Hyacinth and Francesca are kind of tied, but some stuff that happens in Gregory's book really makes me love Hyacinth even more. You'll hear about that next month. But Hyacinth is so spunky, and like, she's just so fun. Like, I really like Hyacinth. And I just think she's so interesting, and her story is completely different. The last 3 stories I feel like were done so well, especially compared to like the beginning. But basically, like, she's best friends with Lady Danbury. Like, she goes over there once a week, reads a chapter of a book, they chit chat, she goes about her business. She's best friends with Lady Danbury, which I think is so precious. And Gareth is Lady Danbury's nephew, right? Nephew? 'Cause it's not her grandson. But Hyacinth and Gareth falling in love slowly, like, they really had like a true friendship. Like, they picked on each other, they were not into each other at all, and I don't know, it was good. And then like, them going about, Gareth was dealing with so much, and Hyacinth was dealing with so much, and like, them coming together to like be each other's piece but also not at the same time, it was really fun. And then like, they just, I don't know, they connected in a weird way with trying to find the jewelry, essentially. And he was struggling with the idea of his dad not being his dad, and him being someone random's kid. His mom's dead. She was going through the process of like, okay, I need to find a husband, but no one is suitable. And them coming together and finding, working towards finding the necklace and the earring. I believe it was necklace, earrings, and ring. They never did. You'll hear about that in one of the epilogues. And yeah, I really liked Hyacinth's spunk. She is so spunky and so sassy, and like, she is very much not a woman of her time. And I like that Violet talks about how Hyacinth reminds her of her a lot, and I just really like that comparison. And yeah, I don't know, these two are way up there with contending for second and third spot. I did enjoy all of them, just in different ways. And yeah, you'll get Gregory's book next month, but I would highly suggest reading the Bridgerton books. I do think that if you're going to read them, take breaks to read stuff in between. Like, I took a break and actually physically read this. This was audiobook. I would take breaks to physically read, to separate some of the stories a little bit, I think, because I was just so inundated with Bridgerton. Like, I lived in the Bridgerton world for like a month and a half, and that was pretty much it. So yeah, separate them up a little bit. I would suggest reading these before you watch the show, but the show it's so different than the books. And so yeah, I do what you want, do what you will, but I would suggest reading the books before. I did watch season 1 and 2 before I read the books, and I wish I would have read the books first. But it also helps visualize things better. So yeah, that's it for this video. Watch my Divergent video when that comes out, and I will see you guys in my next one.